I think
we're early. I think we're in here.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Oh, fuck. Well, regardless, screw it. It'll do. It'll do. Right. So basically, I have a timer set on whenever I press on intro thingamajig, right? And it doesn't stop the timer if I switch to another scene. So that's great. Just well, whatever. Fine.
We're all professionals here.
Right, yeah, might as well switch it to Space Race News. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. We got the proper, look and whatnot else. So, greetings to everyone in them chats today for another iteration of Space Race News. All the most pointless news for games and a few other random things that we tend to talk about and whatnot else on a weekly basis.
And I'm the pilot.
Yes. What? Well, yeah, we have not a special guest, but a returning co-host. At this point, proper co-host. Although the proper, I'm not sure about, but regardless, a host.
Well, a few of those words are true. Yeah, let's just go with that.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Which one of us should choose the first topic?
Oh, let's. I'm gonna hand it to you because I chose.
Okay, right. So, for the starting little thing, I might as well go with the most boring piece to just open up. as news go, just to leave the big punchers and hitters, whatnot else, for last ish. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I did finish the Half-Life Alyx for the second run around yesterday. It took me about 8-9 hours, and that's kind of running through. The thing is, I gotta say, still need to replay it. It's still a good game. It's still the best VR game, frankly, in my opinion. So yeah, it's you tend to notice a few things here and there, but most of all, I'm rather still surprised how good actually everything how blends together though with Half-Life Alyx when it comes to holding things and what actually a VR game should be in the future. If you're going into the wider topic of VR games, right? Actually, there's a few things that I noticed that Half-Life Alyx does perfectly and should basically be copy-pasted, if you will, from other games. One of them would be definitely, essentially giving your hands, or rather your ability to lift things, but giving them weight. Essentially, you're gonna move your hand around and so on and so forth, but your hand will sort of slowly ease up on the position that your real hand is, as to demonstrate essentially the weight of the object. The slower your hand moves to your actual hand's position in the real life, obviously the more weight the object would have, and so on and so forth. And also dropping objects that are too heavy. That sort of approach, actually, Valve is the first one to do in my recollection. So, well, good on them. Definitely to show how it's done. As for the movement, though, there is one thing that a lot of games tend to forget, and that's essentially sound effects. See, whether you like it or not, the fact that Half-Life Alyx actually has sound effects as soon as you move your hand up and down or move your body left and right or what it does, you exhibit little sort of sound effects, and that gives not only weight to you but also just a little bit of more, this thing called immersion. But hey, it gives you that feeling. I mean, VR is a gimmick in my mind in some ways, right? And it's supposed to be sort of, immersive, right? So if that furthers that feeling being there, then yeah, it's great.
I thought the biggest draw of that game was that every button press basically let you give the finger.
Not exactly. No. No. Again, if you're using, like me, Valve Index and its controllers and blah, 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 then yeah, you can flip left and right. But the stupidest thing is that no one reacts to that flipping off, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because, see,
I would like that.
Valve released the Hand Lab, I think it was the Hand Lab or whatnot else that they basically made as a tech demo for the Valve Index when they first released it, if I remember correctly. And when you actually, threw the fucker around, the finger and so on and so forth, then yeah, the characters would actually react to it. But then again, it was focused on that side of things. So, I mean, could have done that in Alyx a little bit more. But yeah.
Probably a little confusing with picking up stuff if you had to get more than 3 fingers on it and placement.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, anyways, if you're into VR stuff and so on and so forth, I definitely recommend, if not getting the Valve Index, then definitely getting Valve Index controllers, because those, in my opinion, are the best ones for basically any game that utilizes it properly, right, and allows you to grab things, be that Gore and be that Pavlov and a few other games, right?
Do you have a video on your second run of Half-Life Alyx?
Oh gods, no, I don't even have the first one. Oh wait, no, I did stream the first run, at least the start of it. But yeah, I was actually considering whether or not I should, get some footage from it. But then I realized that I would need to constantly move my fucking horse ripper to the room where I can, do the stand-up and film it, and that would prevent me from properly actually editing shit and blah blah. Basically, yeah, there you go. So that kind of sucks. But anyways, that's about Half-Life Alyx. There are plenty of things I can talk about, but let's move on. After all, there are more news to go into. So, Pilot, you go for it. In the
If
next
we
one.
are going to talk about shameless self-promotion of our own videos, I did just put out a 20K sub, thank you video called the butt video. If you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend it. I know you haven't. You should totally watch
Nope,
that. I think you'll
nope,
like it.
not yet. I didn't even know that it came out. You didn't post it. You didn't, notify me that you posted it.
Dude,
So.
dude, I got unsubscribed from you. I didn't even do it. I don't know what the fuck
What?
happened. Yeah. Like your stream
Interesting.
started the other day, and I looked over and it was on my recommended. I was like, why did I not get the notification? I click on it and it says I have the option to subscribe. And now I look here and I'm actually watching our own stream, and it says I'm subscribed.
Huh.
Bonkers sauce, man.
Oh yeah, the good old YouTube thing of unsubscribing people randomly. Just that's great, isn't it? Yeah.
Weird.
So folks, check if you're subscribed to your favorite content creators again. YouTube, what the fuck? I know. Speaking of YouTube, actually, they removed the good old classic
Creator Studio
dashboard, and of course, basically now we have Creator Studio, which basically objectively sucks. Well, okay, maybe not objectively. There are maybe one or two things that I do like, but just. Why? I get it that constant change is something that a lot of people bitch about, but there are functional things that the old one did so much better that, again, I'm not looking at it from the personal perspective of whether or not I like it or not. Again, the good old days when YouTube actually had the skins. Remember, those of you that actually watched YouTube back in those days, YouTube channels had skins. You could put like not only just a fucking banner, you could put the whole channel skin. That was... I mean, okay, it was MySpace-y, but it was pretty fucking cool and actually made you distinguish yourself beyond, someone else. Or now everyone's just so fucking similar. It's not about channels anymore. It's about the fucking videos, which kind of sucked. But, well.
I actually don't mind the new interface too much, except for the fact that I no longer know where to put in my own subtitles. So I haven't been making subtitles because I've emailed them. I'm like, hey, where do I put in the manual subtitles? And they're like, oh, well, we'll get back to you. Okay.
Yeah, it's just half-assed ideas, essentially. Just not, well, come on, YouTube, what the fuck? Anyways, whatever. What's MySpace? You don't need to know. Basically. But yeah.
Tom is still my friend.
I see. Well, anyways, massive congratulations indeed to Pilot for reaching 20,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
So what's on the roadmap for you in the future?
I do have an announcement after I finish out the ship list, but no, but it's gonna be interesting, and hopefully people like it, and I got a nice community and people say the nicest things to me, and I actually really appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, that's nice. Yes, I mean, Pilot has definitely created some interesting videos, even though most of them are fucking wrong. They're still at least pretty to look at. I mean, they're still pretty to look at if you have some eye problems. So hey,
you need to calibrate your monitor, sir.
Yeah, sure. I need to do that, right? But no, massive congratulations to Pilot indeed for reaching something that took me about 5 years to do at least. Totally not petty here, but regardless.
Yeah, I owe it all to you. I learned from your mistakes. That's all. You're a good
God. Teacher. I mean, if there's one thing you can do correctly, that is just not do what TheYamiks does. Oh, fuck me. Well, regardless. Actually, speaking of your content then, from all the ships that you reviewed, not counting the views and the response that people give you, which one was literally the hardest to make and why?
The hardest to make?
Yes.
Oh, geez. I struggled narratively with how I was going to do the Cobra 4 until I decided what to do with that. And I thought it would be huge and big because so many people, if you haven't watched that video, then I'm not going to ruin it for you. But there's a twist to it, and I thought everyone would get a kick out of that twist, and it would be very popular. And for a couple months, nobody gave a shit. You know, some of the pale blue dot video, you know, I loved and stuff like that. Nobody really cared. Interlude, etc., etc. The hardest one to do, though, that's the adventure ones that we all do together, like Getaway Driver or Marked Man.
Oh,
yes. My God,
those are tremendously hard. I know. Yeah.
Hundreds of hours of editing just to, you know, just pouring through, you know, several people's cameras just to get the right angle and this and that. And after that, you know, you put it up there and someone goes, it's really hard to, you know, pay attention to what's going on. It's not really clear who's who. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do, man? it's 8 people recording with 8 different computers with 8 different resolutions, and I did my best.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love the fact that all of our adventures fall apart.
For sure. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, I know you have.
So it's a lot of effort for what essentially is most of the time, at least in my case, beyond my capabilities. And then as for Pilot, it's again, he had different challenges. Never personally edited, you know, 8 angles at the same time. I usually try to stick to at least a few, you know, as few as possible. So yeah. So there you go.
Probably the better way to go.
Yeah, tends to be easier on editing for sure.
Yeah, just a bit.
Quite. All right. Well, then moving on. Let's see what we got. Ah, yes. Well, we have a little sort of a sad news piece that came out, and so yeah, for Doom Eternal, as it turns out, Mick Gordon, Mick Gordon, who is the composer for the amazing Doom 2016 and of course Doom Eternal soundtracks. He apparently wasn't mixing for Doom Eternal, or if he was, then he was you know, not the only one mixing, and it kind of showed. You see, he also came out saying that in the, you know, future he's probably not going to be working on Doom anymore, at least with Bethesda. For probably these reasons. He didn't specify, obviously, but fair enough. He's, you know, keeping distance from what he does. But I can only imagine, you know, basically playing the game and just hearing some weird, you know, music mixing, if you will, putting together how things work. And even when I first played Doom Eternal, it really felt like music just didn't quite work well together. It just... Well, first of all, it didn't last long enough to actually get into the, you know, the music rhythm and whatnot else for me. But there were some weird choices later on down the line with the way that the normal sort of exploratory music was sort of put together with the action music, which let's see. Which level it was? I think it was the one with when you first battled the Doom Hunter enemy, right? That particular one, that particular level was very weird. I loved the normal background music when you just run around and do nothing. That was personally one of my favorites. But then when the battle music comes on, it's just something, it's lesser. It just didn't feel well. Again, it's kind of hard to describe, as I'm not, you know, audio engineer nor the composer nor anything to do with music, but yeah, it's still kind of just a dick move to just, you know, knowing that Mick knows how to do these wonderful tracks and how to put them together, right? Just sort of say, nah, we kind of want to do it ourselves, you know.
What's that genre of music called? That kind of, is it just metal?
It's hard to say. Again, a lot of people say it's you know, death metal, it's whatnot else. Personally, there are different sort of influences coming in together, and when it comes down to metal, especially the subgenres that it has, it's just fucking stupid. Just like there's so many subgenres, like every fucking band thinks they are so goddamn unique, and they have to have their own style and music, which is fair enough if you have to have your own style to differentiate yourself. But then just everyone has that feeling that I need to have my own metal style. It's not typical metal. It's a pirate, neo-Nazi, I don't know, super
Shriek death metal, banshee.
There we go. Meme metal. There we go. Like, why? Why? Just make good music and focus less on your, first of all, the fucking logo that is barely, properly legible, right? And your fucking music style, okay? Just make good music and see where it evolves rather than just worrying about the fucking title of it, you pricks.
But anyways. I was going to say is that I didn't want to mislabel it what genre it was, but I always have trouble with that kind of music when I put it in my videos.
Both. And I love metal. That's the thing, right? I love it, but that's the thing. It's just the genre amount in the fucking industry for metal, especially, is just so vast, and it's just damn annoying. And if you want to know more about that crap, I mean, a little, I guess, shout out to Spectre Sound Studios there. So yeah, fuck you, Glenn.
I think I know how they did it in Doom Eternal, though. I think they just set up an invisible switch, so when you enter a certain room, it just cues the music instantly. I don't think there was any consideration for points of swelling of the music or anything like that, and that's why it might sound a little bit off.
Actually, the interesting thing is, Mick, I think it was a day before Doom launched, he made a live stream essentially about the whole music thing, so you can actually go watch it, and it's actually pretty interesting how the mixing was supposed to work in Doom. Essentially, there was the normal background music that you have for just off action moments, right? Basically the searching music essentially, or just exploratory music, right? You have that one loop, or several iterations of it. Then you have sort of a low action loops, and you have high action loops, and so on and so forth. And the way they basically gel together is actually more noticeable with Doom 2016 than Doom Eternal. But if you pay attention, you can hear that moment when when you first enter an arena, some basic enemies start to spawn in, and you get that low action music, blah 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 blah. But then, at one point, they spawn in a bigger, badder enemy, right? And then it starts to really hit the drums and whatnot else. And basically just go on with that music. And, this mixing often didn't quite work well together, even though some of it was designed. And I know a lot of people, right now are coming out and saying that, oh, yeah, it was just a little bit of off, sort of, compared to 2016, and I felt that frankly immediately when I first played Doom Eternal. So yeah, but well, it is what it is. So unfortunately, Mick, for the foreseeable future, says that he's not going to be working on any further Doom stuff. So it's kind of sad, to be honest, and especially I love his work, really. He has made actually some really decent tracks for games that have come out. You can actually check his stuff out on his website. There are some dead games right now and some actually still alive ones. But yeah, Doom was that game that completely solidified him as the Doom music guy, like the person that made
the Doom music guy.
Well, yeah, basically, right? It's just his work is at this point so iconic, at least has become so iconic with the current version of the Doom, that when the next Doom comes out, everyone's going to be comparing it to the other two, even if Doom Eternal doesn't have that great of a soundtrack in comparison.
Yeah, but he's not, he's a good music artist. I'll give him that. Yeah. But nobody's truly unique here, man. I mean,
oh,
you can find another
sure.
metal guy.
I mean, personally, as a matter of fact, if you play through Doom Eternal, you get to pick up, albums of the old games from id, and their soundtracks, right? Personally,
That's nice.
I really, to this day, absolutely love the intro music for Doom 3. Like, honestly, it was a wonderful track. Back in the day, they hit that point perfectly. Unfortunately, the game wasn't fit for the style of music it was, which kind of was counterintuitive in many places, but regardless, I love that music. So Doom 3, personally, the intro music is more favorite for me than both the Doom Eternal and Doom 2016, even though both of them are good. And yeah, again, for Doom 3, they had actually 2 composers work on that one. And there are people that are capable of making these amazing tracks. And basically what Doom showed in, well, Doom 2016 and of course now also Doom Eternal, that music can be such a massive boost for the game. That, yeah, there are games that try to use it, and often these days, well, not really accomplish what they set out to do. There are exceptions, of course. If you have played, and I do recommend if you haven't, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. Wonderful audio mixing, like truly perfect, in my opinion. That game has also one of the best ending musics as well, and perfect sort of a key for that. So, yeah, there are great games that actually work well with the music, and some other ones that really just don't particularly care about the music, even though you might have not noticed it, but your brain did, as they say. And it's
Anyway, speaking
but
of
anyways,
studios
yeah.
screwing up their games, Fallout 76 bugs continue, unsurprisingly to everyone. And some NPCs are looting player corpses because why not?
Yeah, at
There's
this
a bug
point, it's
where,
just.
yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it, right? There were some news about Fallout 76 also that they would be introducing pets and whatnot else, and I'm thinking, why? Why do you keep propagating this thing? Just let it die. It's not gonna be No Man's Sky. Bethesda, you're not Hello Games. You're not indie, or you don't have principles great enough to pull a fucking No Man's Sky. Just let it die, please.
I have an industry rumor about Fallout 76.
Ooh.
There is rumor that they hired a advertising shill team to go and, change the narrative and the message boards and Reddit and everything like that, that it's actually good now and the community is not toxic at all. And that's actually their talking points, is that they will say the community is actually good now and not toxic at all. So if you see that phrase used somewhere, you know exactly where it came from.
Oh my. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fallout 76. Fucking mess, man. It's just.
Why do they keep making it worse?
I don't know. It's Bethesda. At this point, they've made the name for themselves for just constantly fucking up and fucking up so hard. It's. Oh my god. It's just become.
Like,
well, Ubisoft iconic, or even beyond that.
Right? I mean, I'm used to bugs, but this is like you're choosing bad game mechanics to add in to make it worse. What the hell?
Yeah. Fucking hell, man. It's a mess. Well, we'll see where it goes. And of course, just like Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous at this point, I'm gonna be observing at least vaguely the thing, and see the shitfest unravel. What's next? $200 expansion for Fallout 76 or something stupid as that? Not
the $100 a year subscription wasn't enough for you?
Yeah, right. That's stupid thing. Just why do you keep propagating it, Bethesda? Why? Just make fucking Elder Scrolls, the next Elder Scrolls game, and get some hopefully positive PR. Oh god.
Nobody wants to hear the new stuff. Play the classics.
Oh god, yeah. Oh man.
Speaking of good games, though, Team Fortress 2 looks like some issue happened there.
Oh, fun times. Right, so those that don't know, this week, Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike, rather basically the source engine source code was leaked on the internet. It was from 2017, 2018, I think it was, something like that. And there have been already unraveled ways to execute code on your machine if you're just playing with someone together in a server. Essentially, that was the remote executed code that was possible to be done. Thanks to that leak, if you had, if you were sitting in a server with someone that had that particular capability. So that was wonderful. Now, of course, Valve quickly sort of, rushed together and whatnot else and made sure that it wouldn't be possible anymore. But the fact is that at one small smidgen of, time frame, it was possible. But regardless, apparently right now Valve is saying that, it's nothing to be afraid of anymore. They've made, alterations so that things wouldn't happen like this again, and so on and so forth. That includes Gmod. But yeah, so if Valve is to believe, Team Fortress is safe and you can still play it. But it was interesting, sort of that horrible level of just change managed to completely screw the game. And as a matter of fact, for Team Fortress, those of you that perhaps know of Team Fortress trading and so on and so forth, I personally did way back in the day a little bit of trading and managed to just trade enough to acquire a few keys to exchange for a game and whatnot else. So it was kind of nice for me. But the trading servers, some of them shut down completely and so on and so forth. So that I got to go and check back whether or not all of them are back on or not. But that's just it's just damn.
Ooh, damn. It says the source code posted by a disgruntled modder that was booted off the Portal fan project.
Portal fan project. Oh, damn. Yeah.
Ouch.
Disgruntled. Everyone's disgruntled, right? Yeah.
That game is 13 years old. The fact that it's lived this long is kind of amazing.
Oh, no, there's definitely a very strong community behind every single Valve game, because they are well-made and fun games. Sure, they've adapted for the current age of things, and sometimes even led more, or rather less savory sort of things and trends within the gaming, like loot boxes, which again both Team Fortress and Counter-Strike have. So yeah, not the greatest sort of a thing, but regardless, the fact that Team Fortress, right, has lived through all these years is just a testament of not only the fun gameplay that it had, but also that the team made it into. Because remember, when the Team Fortress was launched, it didn't had multiple different weapons and whatnot else. It didn't had, the shenanigans that we have right now with both the hats and whatnot else. It's just the little things that they added throughout these years is just a wonderful testament of not only the good gameplay, but also stable stuff. So,
okay, yeah, this is the part where you're going to hate me. My favorite part of Team Fortress 2, and for that matter, Overwatch, is the movies. I just wish they would have made a TV show. Too.
Actually, the
I just
only
wish they would have made a TV
show.
show. I don't care about the game.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and I am exactly the same way. I've stopped completely playing Overwatch because fuck Blizzard. Pure and simple. Their attitude on the whole free Hong Kong thing and whatnot else was just no. I get it. I get it that in sporting events and things and bringing up the political stuff and so on and so forth, but it's just the way they handled it. The point there was that the way they handled it wasn't exactly the best of things. And of course, there are some other things as well that the company.
Don't you own a phone?
One of them. That would be one of them, indeed. Yes. Their attitude is just gone. That's it. And not to mention the whole fucking Warcraft 3 remastered, folks. Actually, hold on. What score does it still have? Hold on, I need to check this because it was hilarious. Let's see, Warcraft.
They just
3
butchered it.
Reforged. Let's see. No, that's the. Where is it? Metacritic. Let's go for Metacritic. Oh boy, let's see. Metacritic right now. Warforged. Oh, it's still...
We'll put it on the screen.
Oh, this is great. Give me a moment. Let me just show this, folks. 0.6 score, user score. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, it's great. So the thing is, I still remember when they were... So why is this score so low? Well, for a multitude of reasons, because first of all, they lied with their trailers and the way they would be remastering things, and basically just on top of that, also forcing this version onto everyone. Sure, yeah, you can still, find a way to play the old Warcraft 2, right? Percy. Cracked versions, archived versions. Technically, hey, if you bought the game,
it's legally yours.
Yeah, technically it's legally yours. So you're not really pirating, or that's how it went? I think it was. I'm not.
You are allowed to own one digital copy of whatever material that you have purchased legally.
Yeah, so there you go. Again, we are not lawyers or anything like that, so again, investigate that on your own. But the point here is there are archival, quote-unquote, versions, or just pure archival versions that are still playable and so on and so forth. So it's not gone, right? It could never be. Yeah, it's that score and just the complete ineptitude of the whole fucking company is just why I never, want to return to Hearthstone, which I personally kind of enjoyed for a little bit. Personally, Yu-Gi-Oh is my favorite, but regardless, right? And Overwatch is right now just basically a TV show for me. Like literally, I love their animation. It's nice. It's very well done.
So good.
So yeah, that's the only thing that I really care these days about when it comes down to Blizzard. Show me a good cinematic. That's all I care.
I would love it if Blizzard actually just kind of rolled over into their Blizzard Entertainment. Just go open up like an animation studio. Make TV shows. I would watch the hell out of these things. My God.
Well, they probably take a lot of time and effort to make, though. I mean, they did make a movie. And that was great. Like...
Which movie? What?
Oh, come on! Warcraft!
Oh, the live action thing? Oh, yeah, that doesn't count. That's not what I want. You know that's not what I want.
Oh.
No. No, that doesn't count. There's only one Matrix. There are no Blizzard movies. Come on.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, fair enough then. Well, regardless, yeah, I get you. Right. So, and for Team Fortress 2, right, the animations that they did, those are really good, and I do like watching them too, and play the game too. Hey, the problem is though, yeah, with the current state, yeah, it's kind of iffy. But no, I mean, again, according to Valve, they have fixed the remote, executed code thing, so it should be safe. I'd recheck it myself again, maybe from multiple sources, not just here, right? So, yeah, but stay on the safe side, if you will. It's kind of interesting that there were so many videos floating immediately on that same day that the thing was released. That, that's it, stop playing Team Fortress and everyone drop it immediately. And, oh gods. Actually, I might need to check Steam charts real quick. So, Pilot, go for the next topic.
Let's see. All right. Oh, Industries of Titan looks neat. It looks like a sci-fi outer space Sim City. I thought it looked really nice. There's a couple articles over on Kotaku and a couple of different places that are looking at it, but basically you're on the moon of Saturn Titan, and they drop you down. You got to build the whole city, but it looks like part of it was already there beforehand. There's ruins of this other civilization. Uh, I think it unlocks different parts of the story depending on how you build and everything like that. I am really into it. I love like I
Kind of
loved
looks like Satisfactory though. But
yeah, okay.
Kind of ish. I mean, it's a sim building kind of a game, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
never
love
been
Sims.
much into myself, so.
Really?
No, I never liked those types of games. The only thing that I did with Sims, like the EA's Sims game, right, or similar games, was just literally get the characters in a room, delete the door, and watch them die.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yes.
Okay.
That's literally the only thing
look,
that I do with them, and everything else is just kind of.
I love building like perfect utopias and then just kind of slightly tweaking them a little bit and seeing what happens. Like the last SimCity, the one that everyone complained that it had to be online and it was terrible, but they finally patched it and it turned out it didn't. I loved that one because I could build these utopian societies, and then there's the mega corporation. I don't know, whatever. They're drug dealers, but half of the drug dealer system was that you have to make this stuff, but you also have to make drones to go deliver it to people because they're all addicted to it and whatnot like that. But if you just make the drones and not the drugs, then people can use the drones to deliver anything. So it made my utopia like 10 times more efficient. Everyone loved it. It was great. I had no pollution. I loved just seeing the little, golden, towers of prosperity rising up out of I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I liked it. I think this looks neat, and I would go for it.
There is that cathartic feel of it, just making it and seeing it work. Again, I mean, I'm one of the people who say that, yeah, I do like building, but only in like 2 games, Minecraft and Terraria, right? So
I can't play Terraria. I've tried so hard.
Oh yeah, right. They're actually did they release or will be releasing? God damn it, I keep forgetting. But yeah, basically they are finishing the game completely. The last update either I think came out or will be coming out. God damn it, somebody again. This is impromptu. I don't remember the date, but yeah, it's basically gonna be out, and yeah, the last update is just. For Terraria. In some ways, it's kind of a sad and fulfilling feeling, seeing your body sort of finally maturing and, going off and or maybe dying. I don't know, depending on your sort of a perception of game literally being finished and developers saying that that's it, we've finished it and it's time to move on. Nice. So. But it's absolutely wonderful to see that they actually finished it and called it like fully done, and this is the last thing, and we're moving on.
There's a game that I have that's very much like Terraria. It has that same art style, everything like that, but it's like partially online, but I can't remember. I'm trying to look for it while you were talking, but I can't seem to find it. But yeah, no, they had mechs and starships. Starbound, yeah.
Starbound, yes. I was actually thinking of the same thing. Yes, and Starbound is as well a really, really good game. If you like that sort of a style and 2D
I can't
game.
play it. I can't play that or Terraria. I just can't get the. I don't know. I can't get the control.
I know
right.
The personal preference for me oftentimes as well is, but when I actually get into it and when I actually get to play the game, it's actually quite rewarding and fun to just fuck around with. But usually because I'm me and I need to make content and videos and so on and so forth, I often am, sort of distracted by those sort of duties, if you will. I just think of, if I only didn't make videos and would be just a normal player, I would probably spend fucking days doing this thing. And that's how
just
it
unlocking all the little stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing with Minecraft as well. It's just such a wonderful draw and cathartic, and you play at your own pace, and the art style as well is so just, I don't know, appealing.
It's again 16 hours later, all of a sudden.
Yeah, I suppose. So, but yeah, if there's one thing I would say that then there's definitely sort of urge from me to you to just go out and try something different. You never sort of will realize how much you've sort of left on the table for the entertainment value and some wonderful actual narratives and whatnot else, enjoyment basically.
Or instead of trying something new, you could try something old that's been remade new. They're remaking Secret of Mana as Trials of Mana with the updated graphics.
Never played either of them, so
you never played Secret of Mana?
Nope.
Dude, classic, right next to Chrono Trigger. It's amazing.
Again, not even Chrono Trigger. Again, my personal gaming history really stems from the 3D shooters, right? So the first game I ever played was Duke Nukem 3D, right? And ever since then, I played. Basically, I was drawn into 3D shooters and shooters in general, right? Then of course,
your personality makes so much more sense now. First game was Duke Nukem 3D. Okay, that answers a lot.
Indeed. It was is probably the most important game in my life. So yeah, but I mean, over the years and what else, I've tried a few things, and of course my second favorite genre is RTSs, and the third favorite is driving games, specifically Underground 2 style of a game. So
Burnout
those
3. That's the pinnacle right there for me.
Okay, fair enough.
Ooh, interesting side note about Burnout 3. Its technical lead director, Sean Murray.
Wait, what?
Yes. Burnout 3 Takedown. Its technical lead was Sean Murray. Isn't that awesome? You're Googling it now because you don't believe me.
No, I'm not Googling. I'm just thinking, I mean, I kind of expected that Sean should have had some sort of a background in gaming, but I didn't expect him to come from Burnout of all places.
Oh yeah,
I kind of expected him to come
the guy
from.
Who does Hello Games, by the way, owns Hello Games.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Hello Games. No Man's Sky and so on and so forth. So that's interesting. I suppose I should have looked him up. To just investigate where the fuck he got his a great idea to basically be such a fucking liar. But well, that's just me. But
come on, man.
I'm not gonna fucking forget that shit. No one's gonna fucking forget that shit.
He's just a guy who got nervous and was trying to talk about stuff that he wanted in the pipeline. Come on, man.
No, he knew what he was doing. He clearly knew what he was doing.
You know that he's a technical lead. You know what happened is they brought up the blueprint. Every time he did one of those interviews, they talked about what they had on the blueprint, and then as time went on, you have to scale it back. You're a game designer, you know this. You have to cut features, and eventually, by the time where you get down to where you have to deliver Gold Master, you've cut a lot of content that you can't go back to those interviews and say, "Oh, by the way, we had to cut that stuff."
Yeah, you can't go back to them, but you can do, I don't know, issue a press statement saying that, these things won't be in the game. That exists.
Okay. All right,
and I know the companies don't want to go out and say that, no, we're not going to put this in. Sorry, guys, we made a mistake. I know that from corporate perspective, that's usually basically almost like a rule to never admit that you did something wrong. That's a thing, as a matter of fact, by the way. But no, if you don't want to look like a fucking cunt, well, guess what? You have to admit you're wrong.
It's a foot bullet, man. You can't just say that before your game goes on sale. Hey, by the way, guys, half these features, I didn't put them in, so we'll put them in eventually. But no, that's not gonna do anything for sales. No, what you should have done, and what I'm gonna blame him for here, is that he went totally dark afterwards, and it was 3 months before the first update came out. I would have loved for him to turn around and say, "Hey, look."
In my opinion, that was the perfect thing that he did. That was the best thing he could have done. Just shut the fuck up, keep your head down, and work.
Get back to work.
Yeah, that's literally the best thing he did, and at least you can applaud Sean for realizing that much. That some other company, people don't know that they should do that. Gearbox. you know, just
no. But I mean, I wanted him to say, hey, look, I understand that there's some shortfalls. We're working on it. I'm not going to be in communication very much, but here's what's happening. That's all I needed. That is all I needed. And to go for 3 months with me, you know, looking at this like, dude, did you just bail with the money? Come on. And I know he didn't. Now I'm glad I believed in it.
Yeah, I guess you can say that at least some notice would have been nice, but in hindsight, really, fuck it. They realized their wrongdoing and they knew what to do properly. So just that they didn't say that they are going to be working and do the positive thing tends to actually come out as more of a positive thing because it's a pleasant surprise in the long term.
Yeah, but all of their updates have been like this. Like all of a sudden, bam, there's a new No Man's Sky update. I'm like, no, don't stop doing that. Just give me a little bit of head.
As a media person, you want to go and report on it, even though you technically don't, right?
Well, you know, a little bit. Like I have to budget my time in my life. I'm an adult now, man. Give me a little bit of fair warning.
Mr. Pilot doesn't have a lot of time for games. He has to plan out the session. Okay. True. I mean, okay, fair enough. I mean, I, as a matter of fact, somebody who does actually, you know, right now we're doing news, right? And it's always nice to know in advance when something's going to be coming out so I can plan out my release schedule for that, you know, week or month or whatnot else. So it's always nice to be prepared, but, well, there are obviously clear things that sort of make it impossible to be predicted, and, well, you have to basically just work with it as it goes. Unfortunately, that's how life goes. So there we go. So yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We got anything else? I think actually not. Oh, right. Elite Dangerous. Right. Holy fuck. Well, the topic of today, sort of. Right. So, those of you that are interested in joining the second beta for the May, right, for consoles or PC or whatnot else, remember, developers will be copying your account's information for the beta on the 30th April. So until that day, whatever you got on your account when they copy it, you're gonna have on beta. So make sure that you have enough what you need. Or if you're, you know, one of the people like yours truly who's gonna be mining a little bit, you know, and getting that extra stuff in order to get the fleet carrier and test it out and whatnot else. Because guess what? Developers will not provide you with extra funds because they're so certain that, you know, hey, not providing your testers with the tools for testing is a smart idea. Frontier Developments, greatest public beta.
I still don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care either, but, well... You gotta do what you gotta do. Now, I mean, in a way I do care, because it's, in this case, it has sort of grown for me into a case of what sort of impact does player groups and players in general have on the upcoming features, because I'm one of the people who actually adamantly go out there and say that upkeep must be removed. Decommissioning and its penalties must be removed. I made several videos about that stuff and talking about why it's bad, not only just that it has to be. If you need any explanation, go and watch those videos. I strongly urge you to do so. Educate yourself and, well, or at least listen to my, you know, opinions, if nothing else, right? And see whether or not you agree or not. And, you know, bring those concerns and you know, whatnot else to developers. And if they don't change it afterwards, and if they really are so adamant at just keeping the fucking penalty systems and abusive systems in the game, it's just... No, it's developers are, if developers are not willing to listen to the feedback that we as the creators or you as the player groups and players just give, it without explanation, really, it's ignoring and just testing whether or not the thing that you made actually doesn't break, and that's all you need is a stress test. And if we're there for that, fuck you. That's my personal sort of a take on it. So let's see whether or not developers are willing to actually change the game for the better. Because, well, at least I don't want the fleet carriers to be shit. That's all I ask. Them not to be shit. And upkeep is the biggest issue, and following that, decommissioning is the next issue. And of course, afterwards, there are plenty of other
everyone has problems with the oh, it's the upkeep and the decommissioning and this and that and blah 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 and the modules and the storage space, and I'm just still stuck at the point of the very, very beginning of what is this for? Why would I want this?
And that is the overlaying issue as well. After we get the fleet carriers to be, not shit, then you start to question what it's for. And that is the next crucial step that they have to make. But if they don't make that crucial step for removal of upkeep and just abuse the fucking system, anything that they do, even if they put in some sort of a reason for fleet carriers to exist, that abusal system is still going to be there, and it's going to make it null and void regardless. So we have to just, or rather they have to rather make sure that their design choices actually make sense. But we'll see how it turns out basically by the June, when they
still no sweet 3.9 Star Citizen mining and new elevator controls. You know what? God. I know nothing of Star Citizen, but that sounds a lot more interesting.
Trust me, it's usually nothing too spectacular. A lot of people with Star Citizen, it's interesting, right? The next version is gonna be great. It's gonna fix everything, and then when it's released, everyone's just saying, it has bugs, but it's better than it was. And then a few weeks later, it's just just wait for the next version, and the cycle repeats.
You know what? I actually watched one of these streamers just absent-mindedly while I was working on something else, and apparently one of the new features is going to jail. If you do something and you get caught or you die, you go to jail.
Which is just baffling. Why?
I don't know. That kind of looked interesting. And then he did a jailbreak.
Sure.
He did a jailbreak. That was awesome.
Like with you, right? For me, jailbreak is just another step to sort of fill the void of you doing an actual work that you want to do. It's sort of the actual filler. Actually, the jail thing, at least in my opinion, and of course fleet carriers in Elite Dangerous, right? Those things remind me of the anime by the name of Bleach.
Okay, the one that
those that don't know, that
so
fucking
bad, nobody wants to watch it.
That fucking thing had so much fucking filler. It was disgusting. I mean, okay, it's not Naruto level flashbacks, but at least flashbacks had some purpose and interesting stuff. Although it has plenty of filler too. It's just Bleach sucks balls so much. So fuck that anime. Honestly, I wasted my time watching it. But anyways, that's just me. Well. Anyways, right. And look at that.
I like cartoons.
Hey?
I like cartoons.
I watch a lot of cartoons. Animation is one of my favorite pastimes. And
no, I'm dead serious. I like cartoons. You watch anime. I watch cartoons.
I watch anything that is animation.
Of DuckTales.
Again, it doesn't matter what type of animation it is, Western, Eastern, Southern, Northern, whatever. I don't care. It's as long as you can make an interesting sort of animation, I am interested. I don't really separate.
All right, so how do you feel about DuckTales then?
It's interesting. Animation style is definitely more, I say, high definition, if you will. They are using, I think it was Flash animation for DuckTales, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God, who cares? I'm talking about the fact that they had Rescue Rangers on last week. Come on, man.
What? No,
Yes.
I'm more analytical person, so I first start with, maybe a style of animation that they go for. I go with also, of course, the stories and so on and so forth. Well, what can I say? The thing is, DuckTales, I haven't actually watched too much of it. That's the one thing I kind of want to do a little bit more. But there are some elements of it that I don't like, and that is the hyperactive sort of a style. It's not as bad as the fucking Teen Titans, sure, but it sort of at times borders on going on that sort of a style, which I don't.
What are you talking about? Hyperactive? What? There's an entire episode where they play golf.
Yeah, I've actually seen it, and it was pretty decent as well.
The Kelpies, I thought that was hysterical. They were funny.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's an interesting take. Not seen too much of it though, so it's basically on the fucking long list of things that I need to again watch. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I'm rewatching Code Geass now. So yeah. Hey, it's one of the best fucking anime series ever.
I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce that. Hmm? Isn't it Code Geass?
Oh God! Lelouch, quack. Zero, quack.
All right, close it out. I got my line for the. I win.
I just had that imagery in my my mind. Oh God! Quack, quack. Okay. I just had some fucking weird imagery in my head. Right. So, anyways, to everyone watching, massive thanks. Hopefully you enjoyed this week's news, and if you have any news that for next week and what else that you want us to talk about and what else, do let us know, and all that stuff. I'll try and compilate another list and so on and so forth. So yeah, every week this is the sort of a weekly-ish. Yeah, it has been basically for the last month and a half. Weekly sort of thing with me and Pilot, just talking about news and little things. So tune in next week, basically. As for now, for the closing things. Oh, actually, I see generous person being generous there for the ending thing. Soundwave, right? So when is TheYamiks not giving the finger to the devs? Hey, when it comes down to it, right? If a developer makes a really good, update or a game, I will pat them on the back. I might even, go as far as then want to just hug them. The CD Projekt Red, there are cases where I'm actually very, 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 happy to see people just make something amazing. So yeah. That's about it for the evening, and subscribe to Pilot. He just reached 20,000 after all, so
woo,
yay! And I guess join the Discord,
easy, everyone,
and all the other useful, wonderful links down below. Check those out. And as for now, I guess I'll bid you adieu for this evening. So take care and stay safe. There you go.
Bye.